All right, all right, all right. Let's get this party started. I'm so glad that you all are here. I'm so glad you checked in. This is Coach Powell from Coach Powell Training Development. Welcome to Coffee Tea, you and me. Every week we get together with entrepreneurs, business leaders, superior minds from all over the place to discuss fascinating and important entrepreneurial ideas and concepts that will help you with your business and help you with your business leadership strategy. I started this program off many, many years ago, actually as a live program every Friday. I would sit down at the local coffee shop and really, really share ideas and concepts with business owners, whoever would show up. Sometimes I'd have 30, sometimes even 40 entrepreneurs around the table at a local Panera Bread. And since COVID, we've been doing this program online, and I've been inviting coaches and people from all over the world to experience what we're talking about when it comes to business leadership and ideas. I appreciate your attention, and I mostly am thankful for uh, organizations that I've represented in the past and organizations that I continue to represent today, like the Fairfax County Small Business Commission, of which I've been the chairman for many, many years up till recently, and also the Centerville Community Foundation. And I'm most proud of my partnership with my fraternity brothers, Phi Beta Sigma through Theta Tau Sigma, small business membership program that we've got developed for the organization, and it's a wonderful program. And I completely appreciate the brothers for their sponsorship and their endorsement of everything we do here at Coach Powell Training and Development. You're going to hear a lot about events that we're doing and opportunities that we have for the small business community. And I'm so thankful again for that partnership and that relationship. If you all have any ideas about anything you want to learn, anything you want to hear, anything you want to talk about outside of our chosen topics, please feel free to update me in the chat. Give us a shout out. Tell us anything you want to tell us. Engage as much as you possibly can. You never know where the information that you're going to need to push your business forward, to push your ideas and your relationships forward are going to come from. And I am a big fan of making sure that we create an open and relatively useful connection here with as many entrepreneurs and as many small businesses that we can possibly get our arms around and connection to. And that's limited. It's like I should say it's unlimited, really. So engage as much as you want, ask whatever questions you want of the topic I'm talking about or any other topic that you have in mind. And if I can't answer your question on the chat today and live, I will answer the question, later on, so that you can get you should never have a question that goes unanswered. Let's put it that way. When it comes to your business development, your strategy, anything you need to move yourself forward. And there's no reason why in today's information age that you can't do what you need to do. Now, I've actually put in the chat already some opportunities from the Fairfax County Economic Development Authority and some other sources that I've worked on in the past in terms of helping create, develop, and introduce to the world. Everything doesn't fit in there, but you get the gist of what we're talking about. And today's topic is super special because what we're talking about today is literally the ways you need to think about making your business viable and useful in terms of how you present the benefits that you offer, how you um, suggest and acquire the benefits that you need, and more importantly, how can you be of benefit to the overall general marketplace? And we've been talking about this for weeks now. So if you're not paying attention, we're on session number 10 when it comes to our quality program benefits, benefits, benefits. And today we're going to break down in detail a very important topic, which is the true power of your gifts and talents and how you can take that power to the next level. How do you assess it? How do you understand it? How do you uh, creatively talk about what you truly bring to the table in terms of the gifts and talents in your business and the things that you bring in terms of that strategy. Now, during this conversation, we're going to talk about various aspects of your gifts and talents. We're going to talk about the hardcore rules, what I consider the hardcore rules of high performance. We're going to talk about the magic keys to sustainable effort. We're going to talk about how you tap into the limitless potential of your business. We'll talk about the rightful command of respect as you look at it, right? The proper consideration of productivity versus achievement. We're going to talk about the keys to a meaningful and fulfilling life. And we're going to talk about embracing your talent trajectory. Now, that is a lot to cover in the short period of time that we have. So this is why I don't have a lot of guest coaches on today because I got to get through a lot to move on to the next level of the benefits program that we've talked about. And if you want to get more details, all you can do is look back on the program announcement where you signed in on, and you'll be able to download the entire benefits program and use it as a tool. There's lots of exercises in there that we can't cover them all. We can only kind of gloss over some really high level ideas today. But if you want to get into the details and you need to get into the details, I suggest you download the document, put it on your hard drive, go through it, ask any questions that you may have from it. And we'll be more than happy to provide either further analysis or ideas or way to go when it comes to that kind of stuff. And let me make sure I'm putting my contact or streaming my contact information here so you guys can get to that because nothing is worse than opening yourself up to all these wonderful ideas, but not giving you what you need to close the deal, right? To make those opportunities real for you. And I think I have, there we go, my banner section. There we go. If you need to find me, that's how I am. This is me. This is where I am. You can there's my phone number, my text. Please, if you need to call me, but send me a text first. That way I'll know who you are and I'm more than likely to answer the phone and I'll send you the voicemail if I'm available and I'm not busy. So I always definitely suggest sending a text first. Anyhow, let me go here to the next thing. Okay, what we're talking about. Let's get into our topic for today because I want to make sure we are not so pressed for time that we run out of time for this thing. Let's talk about high performance. Why is it important that not only do you speak to a level of performance that you expect to share with others, but also speak to a level of performance that you expect from others? This is super, super important because the perception of high performance is all about benefits expected, benefits received, benefits shared, right? And you need to be able to brilliantly articulate the benefits that you offer to whom. Now, what's important about this is that every level of, I'm going to say, professional that you work with or stakeholder that you work with, whether that's an investor or a referral source or um, a highly influential client or even PR and news and outlet medias, right? They all expect different benefits. They all need different benefits, and you have to be brilliant at sharing what those benefits are. And so that when you say, I am a high performer or I'm excellent at what I do, you're not just throwing off platitudes, but you're talking about provable content and ideas that you can share, right? And so if you say you're brilliant at whatever it is that you're brilliant at, I would suggest that you have some type of written endorsement, some type of video testimonial, some type of recorded response from a third party that would validate the performance that you speak of. And when someone else is sharing their expectations of performance, right? In terms of the expectation they're setting, you need to make sure you've done everything you can to capture those expectations. And if that, and again, I love putting it in writing. And, even if it's a quick email that you said, listen, on our conversation, we talked about doing boom, 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 whatever that is. And I want to make sure I got it right. And so if there's anything else that you need to add, definitely do that in this format and send them an email and let them respond to you. If they say this, that's it, that's perfect, that's you got it all together, then you've got a much better handle on the expectations of what high performance is going to be from the person that is expecting a level of high performance for you. Now, let me give you a secret. Everybody that you're going to deal with, and no matter what category they fit in, like I told you, any stakeholder, whether it's going to be a high profile client, it's going to be a referral source, it's going to be a supporter, it's going to be an investor, it's going to be maybe a media professional or any kind of social influencer, right? These people are going to expect certain benefits from you, right? And the more you can articulate those benefits and get those benefits articulated from them in a meaningful way, the more you have the opportunity to actually rise to the occasion of that performance. And so here's the thing, everybody has in their own mind what high performance may look like in whatever category you're looking for. Whether they've ever articulated or not it doesn't mean anything until you figure out how to extract from them what that means, right? So I'll give you an example. People say that trust is earned and respect is earned. And I would agree to those statements in large part. But how do you earn trust from someone when you don't know what they need in order to give you the trust? How do you earn something from someone that you haven't heard from them or articulated back to them or agreed with them? This is the level of performance, a level of understanding, a level of expectation that we both agree on that I'm going to share and as a result of whatever disagreement that you make, right? And so that collaborative understanding of what that is for trust is no different than high performance. People have an idea in their mind what they expect and high performance may look like in any category. And literally in their mind, that is the norm. So if you say you're going to go above and beyond expectations, I love people who make that promise to customers or referral sources or anybody else they're working with. You really have to know what that expectation is in order to guarantee that you're going to exceed it. And so I don't suggest that you roll to those kinds of platitudes about I guarantee I'm going to exceed expectation. My excellence for me is exceeding expectations. Da, 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 because you really can't do it unless you understand what the expectations are. And expectations are going to be different for every encounter, every person. And you need to take the time, specifically when it's important. Now, I will say now, if you've got a product that's pretty much a commodity, it's a whole different ballgame. But when you're talking in a service business, which is where I'm excellent in terms of sharing with people, you need to tease that expectation out from your, again, high profile, highly influential clients and referrals and investors and supporters of all types, right? You need to be able to really, really get that information from them. So that's the rule. Those are the keys to high performance. You've got to be feedback ready always in every aspect of every iteration of what you do in your business to move your business forward. If you're not collecting, assessing, creating feedback, real hardcore data driven stuff, right? um, then you're not getting the right intelligence that you're going to need in order to perform at a level that you can make those statements where I'm truly excellent at what I do. I'm an expert at what I do because I can back it up with, again, validated confirmation from third party sources. Now, once you have those claims, and we'll get into what that means a little later on, but once you have those referrals, endorsements, recommendations, in writing and video and audio, whatever technology used to capture that information. And you can talk about if anybody has any questions about how to collect that information and what are the smartest ways to do that. Please hit me up in the chat and we can talk about that. But once you have that stuff in writing or you have in concrete shareable sources of any type, it's amazing what you can do and how you can leverage it, right? Now, let's talk about the next idea, which is the magical keys of sustainable effort. Now, this is a tricky concept that's going to bleed into um, other concept that I have to talk about today. But if you find that what you're doing is consistently and always under your own steam, basically your own energy, your own thoughts, your own drive, your own intention, your own value system, your own everything, then you're not going to be able to sustain that effort. Literally because all human beings, no matter how talented or gifted you are, have a finite capability to perform. You only have so much time. You only have so much ability and capability. You only have so much in terms of intensity and drive you can bring to almost anything you do. So how do you fix it? How do you do it and do it reliably and sustainably, no matter what? Well, you got to think about it from a much different angle than what you can do. You think about what we can do. You need to open your mind up to various types of collaborations and partnerships along the way of being and becoming what you need to be and become. I'm trying not to bleed into the other categories that I know I'm going to talk about later. But the point is, you got to think bigger than just yourself. You got to do things for reasons than just your selfish personal ego driven reasons or the drive that just comes from your desire to want something, right? You have to desire a much higher level of connection, a much higher level of legacy, a much higher level of uh, sustainability, and that's going to exist with others in order to truly count and to truly be able to leave what we call a meaningful legacy or long-term sustained efforts towards accomplishing various aspects of what you want to become in the world of being, right, in the world of becoming. It's super important that you can launch sustainable efforts. You can build magical habits, right, which leads me into the next topic, which is tapping into limitless potential. You're not going to sustain any effort until you've learned how to tap into limitless potential. Now, I already told you your potential as a human being, as a business owner or entrepreneur or leader, whatever you got, is limited. So how do you tap into unlimited potential? You have to invite others in. You have to take advantage of what they bring to the table and what's useful and meaningful about their ideas, their connections. And I teach a whole course called leveraging up, right? And it's all about how to tap into the potential that you have to tap into the potential that others have and invite them in and create the environment where they can flourish with whatever potential they bring to the table. Now, I got to tell you, I'm a little biased because I'm a Christian. And I look at things often through a biblical context. And there are many, many, many passages in the Bible that validate this whole thought process that we are stronger together than we ever are apart. We are stronger in collaboration. We are stronger in partnership. We are stronger when we unify our talents and skills in ways that allow us to leverage and create more power, more sustainability, more resilience, more high powered opportunities. This is why big businesses, once they get a hold of a market, once they get a hold of a strategy, are very difficult to usurp or somehow, deal with them in any different in an entirety of a marketplace kind of world. You might be able to come at them, off to the left from a specific market niche, but you're probably not going to be able to maintain a sustained effort to take from them the market share that they've already earned. Unless you're coming with a ton of talent, a ton of resources that are going to come from several different areas and several different people all simultaneously, right? It's called the force multiplier effect, right? In the military, we have to think about that. We use that all the time. What are we doing to multiply the effectiveness, the efficiency of the force that we're trying to produce, the effort that we're trying to produce to win in whatever category we're trying to win. So you got to use other people. You got to tap into limitless potential. And that means you have to be the kind of leader, the kind of collaborator that is a unifier, and that is a person, a visionary. That's a person who can guide and direct others appropriately so people feel like they are part of something special and they continue to sustain their effort because they feel respected and they feel um, totally engaged, right? Now that gets to the next category, the rightful command of respect. What does it mean to truly be respected? I think that we have given that word a short shrift in terms of what it actually means in application and how we can use it and leverage it to create more opportunities, right? When you respect someone, it means that you adore and honor them for something specific, something that's brought meaning or value or some other type of consideration that gives you a leg up. You are somehow better because of the ideas they shared with you, the relationship you have with them, the talent they've been able to lend to your effort, to whatever that is. You have respect. You adore and honor them because they've been able to help you to reposition yourself, to become better at what you do, to create a better environment or better culture around you. Life is better, business is better because of them. There's no such thing as broad and general respect. Respect is purely specific to moments that a person may share with you that make a huge jump in benefit to you. So now, do you want to be respected? Meaning, do you want to be adored and appreciated for something specific that you bring to the table? Then, my friend, what you're going to have to do to rightfully command that level of respect and to rightfully command that level of honor and dignity, you're going to have to ask for it specifically from the people that you want it from. You're going to have to demonstrate it specifically with the people that you expect to demonstrate it back to you. It's a value like any other value in the universe, right? You cannot command respect unless you are brilliant at giving respect. I say again, you cannot command respect unless you are brilliant at giving respect. Which takes me to the next category in the consideration we're going to talk about today, right? What is the proper consideration of productivity versus achievement in your world? Because they're different things, they're different concepts, they're different ideas. Of course, anybody who achieves something is productive, but everybody who's productive doesn't necessarily rise to the level of achievement. You see, one is a unit of measurement of moving the needle of something from this thing to that thing, right? So it was here before, you got in, you did your work, and you produced something, and now it is here. But achievement is a very different concept because achievement is a recognition from others that the level of productivity that you have is significant, is meaningful, has value. I say again, we are all in everything that we do, whatever role we play, whatever opportunity you're trying to earn what I like to call our MRS degree, right? And now I'm talking about getting married and becoming somebody's missus. I'm talking about meaning, meaningful, relevance, and significance, right? We want our activities and the things that we do to be meaningful, relevant, and significant. That's what we want. That's everybody wants that. Nobody wants to be insignificant, irrelevant, or anything of that nature. We all want to be super important, specifically to the people that we need to be important to. How does that matter? So you have to make sure that when you're thinking about productivity, that's just doing what you need to do versus achievement. Well, that's rising to a different level of um, productivity, I would say, because just getting up and moving forward and living your life and doing what you do every day, you're being productive. You're a productive member of society, blah, blah, blah. I get that. But are you achieving? Well, that's not relevant to just your own understanding, is it? Isn't it? That means somebody else has to agree. Yeah, you're really great at this. Yeah, you're outstanding at this. Yeah, we really need you to do this more because, you know, what you did last year, do it again. That was a significant achievement. And we need you to keep doing that. You know, um, at some point when the achievement is not special anymore, it's just productivity. When it's not really, really super meaningful, super special, it's just productivity. You're just doing what you're supposed to do. And it's not, you did with the requirements of your job or it's nothing to be uh, you're gonna get a high performance rating over that or whatever that is. You haven't done anything significant. You've done what you were asked to do. And yes, I understand what most of you are saying. That is a level of significance. Yes. But it's not a high level of significance. It's just a level of significance. Right. So think about the difference, what you're asking from others and what you're asking from yourself and what you're willing to contribute to and what you're willing to um, expect from others. Are you expecting productivity, the minimum basic level of productivity, or are you expecting higher achievement? And in comparison, we tend to get that which we expect and that which we are willing to invest in and that which we are willing to treat with a level of adoration and honor, which means respect, right? Um, we're almost at the end, and I got a few key things I want to talk to you about. And when I talk about the keys to a meaningful and fulfilling life, I got to couch this in this conversation in that I've already been talking to you about those things, right? But what's most important to understand about those things, and this is what research bears to be true today, is the keys to a meaningful and fulfilling life are not about the traditional trappings of what we think success are. The keys to a meaningful and fulfilling life, and in business life especially, it's all about understanding how to be happy, how to be satisfied, how to be fulfilled. Because when you understand how to be happy, how to be satisfied, how to be fulfilled, how to generate joy in what you do, what follows is sustainable success. Let me make that real simple to you so you understand this. Success does not generate happiness. Happiness generates success. You don't believe me? There are plenty of people who have studied happiness and continue to study happiness, joy, fulfillment, ecstasy, whatever you want to call it, and they will validate. And the research shows. And if you want some examples of that research, give me a call. I'll get it to you. Reach out to me through the chat, and I'll get it to you. But it's very important that you understand this as a fundamental fact of what we consider success is generated from within. It is not generated from the trappings of what we normally would consider success, like GDP, right? The UK and the US, when you start to measure their GDP, all right, the gross domestic product, and what households can accomplish and achieve what, right? You start to realize that that's all a measurement of material gain. And economically, it works. But socially, it really doesn't work. The measurements of happiness have nothing to do with material gain. And if you won't believe me, you'll know that the happiest places on the planet are literally some of the poorest places on the planet. And so you have to ask yourself, and I think that you should ask yourself, what are you working for? Are you working to be crazy, stupid rich? Or are you working to be happy? And what do you place first? Because people who place happiness first become more successful in life and more successful in business. Why? It is generally because they can sustain their efforts, which is what I'm talking about today, right? You can sustain your effort when you're happy, you're joyful, you're gleeful, you love getting up every morning and doing what you do. You can do it at a high level. You can enter into flow state. You can literally find your joy in the most meaningful, powerful pieces of what you get to do every single day. I know I can validate that from a personal point of view. I can validate that from a research point of view. This is the truth. And if you do what I'm asking you to do and start to consider the things I'm asking you to consider, download the document that I shared with you for this particular uh, experience, right? And read it. Pay attention to the exercises. Try to find that place of fulfillment and meaning in your own life, and you're going to find that you're easily excited, joyful, gleeful, and happy. The last point I want to make to you is, I think, the absolute most important part of what I'm going to say today. Each of us are gifted and talented in certain specific and special ways. It is our responsibility to do all that we can to grow our gifts, to grow our talents, to continuously learn, to make sure that others are benefiting from the talent we bring to the table, either as a, a worker in an organization, or as an employee, or as a partner, or as an entrepreneur, or as whatever. We have talents and gifts, and no matter how you deploy those talents and gifts, it's your job to get better and better and better and better every day. It aligns to your purpose. It aligns to your vision. It aligns to who and what you are supposed to be. I truly believe that each of us was put here on this planet to do something meaningful, something specific, to accomplish a whole series of things that are based on the talents, the innate talents, the talents that we nurture and build on, the talents that we share and embrace others with. These are all things that, when we truly, truly, truly understand them, there's a trajectory of possibility. And I want you to think about answering for yourself this question. If I were able to maximize all the talents and all the gifts that I know are in me? What can I be, do, or have that I cannot right now? This is a deep question. Do not take the answer for granted. And I know some of you have thought about this and you've done the self-reflection and the introspection and you've done the self-assessments that you need to do to make sure that you understand what it is your situation can lend to your future. I created a program called True Voice, which is really an acronym that helps people begin to think through and understand what their true voice might be, what they might be bringing to the universe, what they need to bring to the universe, what they need to bring out more in order to truly embrace this talent trajectory that I'm talking about, right? Um, it's super important when you're thinking about who you are, who you want to be, that you understand that your talents are the road to get you there. Your talents that you have innately, the talents that you take those and grow and nurture and mature, become strengths that create wisdom and intuition, and that mindset that you know what you know for sure. And then once that's locked in, watch out. No one can take it away from you. In fact, it's really difficult for people who are talented in any certain area to just be a spectator of that same thing, whatever it is. It's very difficult if you've ever been an expert at something that you can no longer execute because of age or some other circumstance that's keeping you from being able to execute that thing. When you watch it from a whole different lens of others who don't have or have never had that level of expertise. I can speak about it as a racquetball trainer, and developer and coach, right? Um, that's just one of the things I do on the side outside of my small business coaching business. Is when I look at racquetball now, I have, as a result of being certified in teaching and training and developing other athletes in racquetball for years, I look at it from a very different lens than when I was just a player. Once I started to really analyze and break down swing mechanics and foot placement and um, all the things that are required in order to elevate the game and learn how to and play the game at a higher level, even the things that I can't execute because I don't have the athletic ability to do so, I still know how to coach and teach and train and develop others in that space. Right. So I can see where they're making mistakes and I can see what needs to be corrected. And it's no different than coaching, business leaders and so on and so forth today. Because as you do things over a period of time, you hone an expertise, and that expertise becomes your talent. And that talent then has the ability to move you forward in ways that you could not move forward without that talent. So a lot of times people will tell you, and this is the new management resource HR support mechanism, right? Is strength, really how to manage to and how to speak to and how to develop your strengths versus your weaknesses. And there's, I promise you, gold in that thought. Um, you need to spend a lot less time working on your weaknesses and a lot more time working on your strengths and the trajectory of your strengths. And my process, the Vision Quest 90 process, is a process that I developed just so people could do that fairly quickly and learn how to consider their strengths, how to consider the vision of their strengths, the mission of their strengths, the goals associated with their strengths, the habits associated with their strengths, and the connections associated with their strengths, so they can maximize all of it well. And if you're thinking about, really, really moving yourself forward, you're going to need the tools that are in the toolbox. And so make sure that you use the proper tools to get you there. You need the right tools to assess. You need the right tools to manage what you've gotten from this from any type of assessments that you do. You need to make sure that you are thinking about things from just more than a myopic point of view, but you're thinking about the political environment, you're thinking about the economic environment, you're thinking about the technological environment, the legal environment, and finally, you're thinking about the ecosystem that you exist in, how who feeds what and what feeds the other, so that you can think of the macro level things that may affect how you do what you need to do, and you need to put some risk mitigation strategies and policies in place to make sure that if those macro effects do happen, like a pandemic that lasts, I don't know, 3 4 years this time, next time around, um how do you survive that? How do you overcome that? How do you continue to innovate and serve your customers and all that you have to think about those things, or when those things do occur, when there's a flood, when there's an economic disaster, downturn, interest rates, whatever there is from a technology point of view, or legal processes that change, or the law changes, or in your area, whatever, you don't have an escape valve. You don't know where to go next. You don't know what to do, and you suffer inordinately until you can figure it out. Sometimes that suffering is the end of your business. And that to me is always a tragedy. I think that you are in business, and you're using your talents and gifts to magnify that business, and you should be able to do that sustainably. And so, all the rules that I just gave you earlier today are things you need to follow. Just to recap really quickly, today we talked about some of the rules of high performance that you need to consider. We talked about the magic keys to sustainable effort. We talked about what you need to do to tap into limitless potential, and how you can have a rightful command of respect when you understand what respect is, how to deploy respect. We evaluated the proper consideration of productivity versus achievement. We talked about the keys to a meaningful and fulfilling life. And finally, we talked about your talent trajectory and how you can move the needle on the things that you need to move the needle on in your life and in your business. Listen, if you have any questions, any thoughts, any comments, if you're out there and you're listening and you're coming from any organization or any place that you want to share, please do so in the chat. Tell us where you're coming from. Tell us if is there something that you want to make an announcement about, or you want to share with others. Do so in the chat. Share that information, because you never know who might pick it up. If you have an idea, a concept, a question, put it in the chat. All right. And most importantly, don't keep this opportunity a secret. If you've gotten something, gleaned something, motivated by something that I shared, something I talked about, do me a favor. Don't keep us a secret. Tell other entrepreneurs and business leaders. Oh my God, if you got a chance to tune in to any of Coach Powell's workshops, lectures, whatever you want to call them, presentations, discussions, on um, business thoughts and ideas, definitely, definitely look me up. Definitely, put it out there on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, um, Instagram. These are places where we frequent and we post information. You can always go back and find previous talks and previous workshops that we've done in the past. And we're going to continue to share as much as we possibly can, as long as we possibly can, for as many as we can be beneficial to. And so I thank you. I love your attention, your time. Hopefully, you got something out of today's discussion. If not, don't worry about it, because next week we're coming at it again. Next week, we're going to talk about strategies for flawless benefits and delivery. Check that out. You're not going to want to miss it. Strategies for flawless benefit delivery. How do you make sure that the benefits that you want to share, you actually are sharing? And I gave you a little hint this week. Hopefully next week, we could go into that, into a deeper conversation that can be really beneficial to you. Okay, God bless you guys. Have a wonderful afternoon, evening. I'm getting ready to go to a wonderful jazz festival in Philadelphia, and I'm going to be packing up and head out of town. So I'm going to have a great weekend. I hope you guys do as well. Do something fun. Let your hair down. Really enjoy yourself, and go for it. Right? This is Coffee Tea, You and Me with Coach Powell signing off. Have a great day, guys.